Jesus is my Lord, I'm his very own. Complicated ways confuse me. I praise my God in the simple ways. Sing and dance and shout for Jesus, praying to the Lord each and every day. Faith that sure is a rock unshakable, planted in the soil where God's love is sown. Faith that sure is a rock unshakable. Jesus is my Lord, I'm his very own.
Right. Hi there. This is Stacy
Alice
and
Cora.
Cora from Faith Lutheran Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We have been doing some virtual children's messages here for the past several months, where we'll have a Bible verse, and then I'll read the girls a story that connects with the Bible verse, and then after that we'll introduce a quick activity and then end with a prayer. So that is what we are going to do today as well. And we're going to start with the Bible verse for today is, for the entire law, you guys can say it with me in a second, sorry. For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. And that's from Galatians Chapter 5, verse 14. And I told the girls that Galatians is one of the books in the Bible, and Galatians was a group of people that the person who wrote this Bible verse, Paul, he was speaking to the Galatians. So that's why it's called Galatians. All right, do you girls in the audience want to try it with us here? You guys ready?
4.
All right. 1, 2, 3. For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. And that's Galatians 5:14. Okay. Do you guys know what law they're talking about in this Bible verse? Do you have any idea what law that might be? Or actually, it's kind of laws. Have you ever heard of something called the 10 Commandments?
Yes, but I don't know what they are.
Okay, so the 10 Commandments were 2 stone tablets, were written on 2 stone tablets that Moses went up to Mount Sinai, and God wrote into these 2 stone tablets these laws, and they were called the 10 Commandments. And what it was like a contract of how God wanted you to live in relationship with Him, and how God wanted you to live in relationship with other people. So, for example, I think the first of the 10 Commandments is, you shall have no other gods. And that kind of talks about your relationship with God. And the rest of them, the first 3 are about your relationship with God, and then most of the rest of them are about your relationship with people, how you should live with other people. You shall not kill. You shall not covet, which means you should not want what your neighbors have. So those were the 10 Commandments. So they're kind of like, just as, a parent that loves you, like Daddy and I, we have some laws in the house or some rules to keep you safe because we love you. We have a rule that you go to bed at 7:30 at night, or we have another.
That we can't play in our rooms and we can't make messes.
Right, and those are because we love you and we want you to live a safe life, but we also want you to live a successful life. So it's the same thing with these 10 Commandments. God gave us these to help us live our best lives in a relationship with Him and in a relationship with other people. And essentially, the 10 Commandments can be broken down into just one word: love. It's about how God loves us and how we should love God and how we should love one another. So that's what this Bible verse today is saying, that the most important of all these 10 Commandments is love. Love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, so before we start our book today, I want you to think about, have you ever had a time when you experienced fear? And how did you overcome it?
I'm not sure. Oh, I have.
Yeah?
Once I watched this video, what really scared me, and then I pretended like that thing what was scaring me was my boss, and I was pretending like he was super weird, and that's how I overcome my fears.
Okay, good. That's a great example.
That's what I did. I used to think that there was like an octopus monster under my bed, and that if I didn't jump onto my bed, it would grab my feet and pull me under. So then I pretended like my boss was a weird I pretended like I had a boss that was a weird octopus guy that lived under my bed.
All right, so one way to conquer fears is to turn it around into something silly that doesn't scare you. And that's a great example of something that you could do. Well, we're going to read a book today about a little girl that was watching the news. And she had some fear after she watched the news, and her parents kind of helped her get over this fear. And I thought this was a very appropriate book for today's world because we see that a lot. We see a lot of scary news that might make us a little bit fearful. So our book for today is called Come With Me, and it was written by Holly M. McGee and illustrated by Pascal, and I'm not sure I'm going to say this right, but Lemaitre. So, Come With Me. Yeah, I'll turn it around so you can see it in a minute. All right, so Come With Me is written in honor of friendship, bravery, and the fact that we aren't powerless, no matter how small and insignificant we may feel. And that is Holly and Pascal, so the author and the illustrator kind of wanted you to know that before we started the book. So it's written in honor of friendship, bravery, and the fact that we aren't powerless, no matter how small and insignificant we may feel. All right. All over the world, the news told and retold of anger and hatred, people against people. And the little girl was frightened by everything she heard and saw and felt. And we've seen that a lot lately, right, in the news. Mm-hmm. Examples of people against people. And it is kind of scary, isn't it? Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what happens. She asked her papa if there was something she could do to make the world a better place. Her papa said, "Come with me." Hand in hand, they walked out the door to the subway. Waiting there on the platform, her papa tipped his hat to those he met. So the little girl did too. Do you guys know why you tip your hat to people you meet?
It means like hi, I think.
It does, yeah. It's a friendly, what was that?
It means hi or see ya.
Or see ya? Yeah, it's a friendly way of just saying hi. How you doing? And, people, guys or girls that are wearing hats can do that.
Or see ya.
Yeah. All right, so they rode the train through the tunnels underground. See, they got to see all those many different people all in the train going about their day. The girl and her papa were brave and kind, and that day they won a tiny battle over fear for themselves and for the people of the world. The news kept telling of anger and hatred, and the little girl asked her mama what she could do to make the world a better place. Her mama said, "Come with me." They went to their grocery to buy some things for dinner. Looks like they're at kind of a international type grocery. It says Import Corner of the World.
It looks like they're in whatever that place is called where they wear those like weird hat things.
Yep. They have some kind of
What's
different
that place called? Like India?
Yeah, could be India. Yep.
Where the people wear those weird hats.
Right. In the Middle East. Yep. Because one person doesn't represent a family or a race or the people of a land. Ooh, that looks good, doesn't it? Her mama cooked and the girl set the table, piece by piece, as she'd always done. Plate in the middle, knife and spoon to the right, fork on the left, napkin by its side, water glass. The little girl sat with her mama and her papa, and they ate together. Her dog nuzzled her under the table. She scratched his head. I want to do something of my own, she said. Can I walk the dog? And look at the parents are like, And now they're thinking, I don't know, we don't know about that. See, they're kind of fearful too. They've heard the news too, and they think, I don't know, should we let her do that? Is it safe enough? Her parents looked at each other, and they looked at their child. They let her go and sent a message to the world. They would not live in fear. So the parents are being brave too. And when the little girl opened the door, the boy across the hall opened his door too. Where are you going? He asked. The little girl said, come with me, because two people together are stronger than one. Look how easy that was for her to make a friend. The girl, the boy, and the dog were happy to be out. They made a little ladybug friend too, looks like on her shirt. One step at a time, they understood what they could do to make the world a better place. They could go on. Brave, gentle, strong, and kind to one another and all living things. I'm starting to draw some sidewalk chalk there for people to enjoy. As tiny as it was, their part mattered to the world. Oh, look, they got other people now kind of paying attention. Your part matters too. See, all these different people are coming together, and together they're drawing something big and beautiful. Come with me. So what do you think the message of this book was? What do you think it's trying to tell you?
I don't know.
Come with me. They're trying to tell you to maybe to be brave a little bit when you're fearful, and to get out there and meet your neighbors and meet other people and get to know them. You think so?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it is. And it's trying to tell you that even something small that you do
Can
You-
turn into a big thing.
can turn into a big thing. Right. Exactly.
That's always what Mr. Funnex says.
Yeah, your teacher says that a lot, doesn't he? Yup. So, what do you think you could do to make the world a better place? You think of anything? I know in class, in
Try
school.
to help
Climate change? Yeah. And how could you do that?
Try to get people to understand about climate change.
Yeah, you could tell a friend about it, or
I thought you were going to say adopt more washcloths.
adopt more what? What?
Cats.
Oh, adopt more cats?
Washcloths.
Oh, okay. I don't know what those are, but we'll talk about that later.
Cats in Hungarian.
Oh, okay. All right. They just found out they're part Hungarian. Kind of neat.
I
So
did
anyway,
not just find out.
okay, all right. She just started learning more about it. Anyway, the idea, though, is that even a small thing, if we work together, can grow into a big thing. So, with that idea, we have an activity here to help spread some kindness and joy to other people. And we made this kindness rocks basket. I don't know if we can see it very well, but, and we have, in our basket, we have a bunch of rocks, and it says, take one for you or pass along. And this is something that you could possibly put, outside of your school or at a park, maybe in front of your house, and fill it with a bunch of different rocks with inspirational or kind messages on them. So we'll talk a little bit about what you want to do to get started. First step is, what do we need to collect first, you think? Rocks, right. So the girls and I went on a hike and we collected a bunch of different rocks, and so that's the first step. And you're going to want to make sure you don't take all the rocks from one place. Maybe go on a couple different hikes and gather some. and maybe, 10 to 15, however many you want. And then you want to get them ready for painting. And so to get them ready, you can take them home and, scrub them with a little bit of a sponge and maybe some soap and water. Or what I did, and what you can do with your parents, if your parents are around, is I filled just a big bucket full of 1 part bleach and 3 parts water, and I just dumped all the rocks in there for a couple days and kind of let all the debris come off. And then when I took them out, I just rinsed them off, and they were nice and clean, like this. So once your rocks are clean and dried off, then what you can do is paint them. And we put a nice white coat of paint over almost all of our rocks. I think we left this guy without white paint, and this one too. So you can paint on them without the white paint, but I think the messages show up better with the white paint.
Except not with this one, because this one is white.
Yep. So the white paint that we used is Craftsman Outdoor Acrylic Paint. And I do suggest, if you're going to have them outside, maybe try to find some sort of an outdoor acrylic paint to use, because that'll stay on better. And this you can just get at Michael's or another craft store. After the white paint dries, you might have to put 2 coats on. Then what I would suggest is you can use Sharpies if that's what you have, or we found these handy dandy paint pens. Again, I think these might have come from Amazon, but...
The red exploded.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so this is actually the purple that the red got all over.
Now you see what the red did.
Yes.
It literally, like, the cap came off
All
and
right,
it
yes,
exploded.
it exploded. So, okay, you should make sure that you do this outside and that you wear clothes that you don't mind maybe getting a little dirty or paint on them. Right, girls?
These never come off.
Right, because these won't come off. So anyway, these paint pens are really nice, though, because they write nicely. Here, why don't you go up and you can show some of your messages, and then you just write on your messages and put some designs on them that might fit with your message. At the end of the video, I will have a, messages, a sheet that'll have message ideas for your kindness rocks. All right, Cora, here, get out of the way a sec. And we'll have this sheet at the end of the video, and it's going to have different messages you can put on your rocks, like choose to be happy, or you matter, or keep chasing rainbows. So obviously...
You get tired, learn to rest, not to quit.
Right. Depending on the size of your rock, you can choose a longer or a shorter message. This one was a little bit larger, so I was able to write on this one, you can move mountains. But then if you have a smaller rock, like this guy, well, did we already show that one? This one says shine on, with a little sun. So you can put the smaller ones on the smaller rocks there.
Sun.
If you want your rock to look a little shiny, when you're done painting it and all the paint's dried, let's see, where is it? You can add a little bit of this guy, some Mod Podge. And we just did all the painting, the Mod Podge in the white acrylic paint, just with a regular paintbrush. So yeah, that is the kindness rocks. And one more activity, if you don't want to do a kindness rocks, if that's a little bit too much, I also found this really cool thing from the book. Here, you can pull it, get that closer for them to see. It is a postcard template from the actual book, and it says on one side, because as small as it may seem, your part matters to the world. And then you can, on the other side, you can write a message to, a community member, a family, or a friend, kind of thanking them for what they've done for you or what they've done for the world. So an example was, I think, a classroom wrote a bunch of these to policemen and firemen and women and gave them to them. So that's another nice thing that you can do. I'll have the template, the PDF at the end of this video of where you can go and print this off. And then I just cut these out, found a piece of stronger contact paper, glued it on the front and back of this, and now you have your little postcard that you can mail. Yep. Yep. So we are going to end with a prayer here before we let you go. So, here, let me get us some of this stuff out of the way. So if you girls want to bow your heads and close your eyes, we'll end with a little prayer here. Okay? Dear Lord, thank you for your great love. Thank you for sending us your Son to show us how to love you and how to love one another. Help us to live our lives every day with love and kindness and compassion toward ourselves and others. Help us to remember when we are afraid that love is invincible. Love is strong. Love always wins. Amen. All right, we will see you next time. Hope you can join us again. Bye.
Faith that sure is a rock unshakable, planted in the soil where God's love is so